Hello and welcome to Chaos to Clarity, the podcast that's your compass to navigate the exciting world of service-based businesses. If you're a determined woman in your current business adventure, striving to conquer the chaos and build your empire, then you are in the right place. I'm your host, Maggie, your go-to business bestie and chaos navigator. I've spent nearly 2 decades in the service-based industry, building a photography business, a yoga studio, and now a thriving coaching practice. I've cracked the code to consistent income without all the chaos and noise. So get ready to increase your business growth, connect with your ideal clients, and find ease in both business and in life. It's time to turn your frustrations into inspiration and your chaos into clarity. So go ahead and grab your coffee, a pen and paper, and let's dive into the journey of building your dream service-based business together. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chaos to Clarity podcast. My name is Maggie. I am your host, your business bestie, and your Chaos to Clarity coach. All right, so today we are diving in and we are talking about lead generation and quote unquote getting clients and what that all means. I'm also going to talk a little bit about how to not feel and sound salesy. So let's jump right into it. How in the world do you generate leads? Okay. Now most marketers are going to tell you go online, social media is going to be your best bet. And while to some extent, yes, I do agree, it is an easy place to connect with people. Here's my hot take on lead generation, right? Lead generation really just means where are you looking for your leads, right? Where are you connecting with people? If you take lead generation a step further and you start to get into understanding like hot leads, cold leads, warm leads, all of that stuff, right? Like, where are these people in the process of potentially booking with you? That is, I think, where a lot of people tend to get stuck, right? They think leads are often like people who are in the booking process, when leads really aren't that. Leads are people who you are approaching in some shape or form, whether that is in the DMs, through content, or whatever that happens to be, okay? So how do you generate leads? This is something that I help a lot of clients do. We work on what they're talking about, especially if they want to utilize social media. And by that, I mean Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or some of the search engines, right? Like Pinterest. And you could even consider podcasts to be a sort of search engine, if you will. Okay. And even social media is moving more towards SEO, which is search engine optimization, which means the like algorithm behind all this stuff takes what you're talking about in your post and starts to filter that to people who are looking for things or clicking on things that have those same terms in them. Okay, so a place that I start with my clients is how can you get really, really clear on your messaging? And in a simple way, right? It doesn't have to be airy-fairy fluffy words, because honestly, when people are looking for things, what you call something might not be what they call something. So what can you kind of simplify, or kind of like a universal term? How can you bring that into what you're doing, but also keep you in mind, right? Keep your flair in there. Now, obviously, hashtags help with that, and there is a whole other host of research that you can do for those things, but on a very basic and simplistic level. Talk about things that your client is talking about or your clients think they need help with, okay? And how do you know that? You start to ask them, okay? And on any, right, on any social media, it's not a bad thing to pop into someone's DMs and say, hey, can I ask you a couple questions? I'm doing some market research. And if you're like, ew, no, market research, I encourage you to take a step back, okay? Because your content can really be a driver of your market research, especially if you have questions about what your clients are saying. You can bake that right into your content. And don't be afraid to, right? Don't be afraid to tell people what you're doing. Don't be afraid to make offers. And that offer can be hop into my DMs, get on my email list. You know, it can be anything. It doesn't always have to involve a financial transaction. So, how do you generate leads? This is something that I have gotten really, really good at over the last year. My lead generation pool has grown, and I honestly can't believe that it's grown the way it's grown. And I've started helping my clients implement this as well. So if you have opted in, if you haven't opted in also, to my viral conversations that convert, this is where I tell you the exact steps to generate leads, to create viral conversations, to create those posts where everyone is raising their hands and saying, yes, I want that thing that you have. So keep that in mind, right? As you go from your big pool of like the, I don't know, however many billion or million of users are on social media, and starting to narrow that down to the people that you want to help, where can they go to get that thing? Did you start a Facebook group? Did you start a Discord? Do you have a Slack channel? Do you have a school? The SKOOL is one, right? Like, where can they go? If you give them a place to go, they will start to go there, right? And if you make it even easier and keep it in the app, like on Facebook, if you have a group, the algorithm will start to reward you for that kind of thing. So keep that in mind. And I always encourage my clients, if you are thinking you want to be everywhere, all over the place, please take a step back. Please take a step back until you have a team. Otherwise, you are going to be spending all of your time on social media, right? And I want to help you spend your time effectively, right? So that you are doing simple things to create maximum results. So, what I've done over the last years, I've gotten really, really into Facebook and Facebook groups. Why? Because those groups are kind of like curated spaces where I can go into, start talking about the things that I do and see, okay, who in here is responding? Who can I reach out to? Who do I want to be friends with? Who would be a good collaboration or referral partner? Who would be a good client? What are these other people saying? So get really clear on where you think your clients are and start going there. Because at the end of the day, if you're not taking action, you're not going to see results. So start taking action, you're going to see results. If the results are not what you want them to be, how can you shift the actions that you're taking in order to maximize what it is you're doing? Okay, so that's kind of how you start to get leads, right? Something that can be really, really beneficial for connecting with people, especially if you're on Facebook. And I think Instagram kind of has something similar where you can do like subscriptions, but I've also seen this kind of like big chat you can have on Instagram. I have not explored Instagram as much as I have Facebook. So I do have friends who are very into Instagram. So I think I might bring one or two of them on the podcast just to bring you a little insights on how to really connect and grow your Instagram. But as far as like Facebook goes, getting into spaces and groups that your clients are in is very, very, it's a very good thing to do, right? And it's very easy once you understand the engagement value offer posts, you can start to really go viral very, very quickly. But here's the thing with those three post types, right? Engagement, offer, value. You also have to bring in your own engagement. You have to engage on others' posts in order to start getting traction, in order to start getting seen, in order for people to start saying, hey, who is this person? They kind of know what they're talking about. So keep that in mind, right? And if you're interested in how to grow these viral conversations and how to have more of these, I'm going to put the link below for my mini course, Viral Conversations That Convert. So go ahead and opt into that because that is going to help you so much. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is what does it mean to get clients? Everyone talks about getting clients, but how do you get them from lead, right? From, oh, they're noticing me to conversation to signing, right? How do you take those three steps and not feel and sound salesy? Because I think a lot of people, and I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of different people who talk about, I don't DM because I don't want to feel salesy. But This is a hill I'm going to die on. This is one of many, one of many hills I'm going to die on. Business is sales. And if you're not good at sales, you're probably not going to be good at business. And if you want to have a good business, you have to be good at sales. You have to get better, right? Like I said before, take action. Just start taking those messy actions. Yes, you're going to mess up. Yes, you're going to have people tell you no. Yes, you're going to have people tell you yes. So keep that in mind as you're moving forward. It can be messy and it doesn't have to be confusing. It can get a little muddied waters when you start to try and do everything all at once, which is why I tell my clients, focus on one platform at a time. Get really good at that platform and commit to that platform for like 3 to 6 months because the overnight success, a lot of times we see that overnight success blow up, but what we don't see is the 1, 3, 5 years prior to that of growing the business, of doing the things, of taking the actions, getting confused, messing up, doing all that stuff. So I want you to keep that in mind. Is it possible to be an overnight success? Yes, but you also have to prepare, right? You have to prepare. You wouldn't go on a trip and not pack anything, right? You have to prepare to do that thing. So what does it mean in terms of getting clients? Because everybody talks, I want to get more clients, I want to get more clients. Okay, so here is the thing. You have to put out content. Number one, put out content. Number two, engage in others' content, right? And engage with people who engage on your content. So if someone is commenting on your content, leave a comment back for them. And that is also an opportunity for you to either add them as a friend or hop into their inbox and say, thank you so much for the engagement on my post in XYZ place. I appreciate you. I would love to know more about you. Can you tell me what you do? Right? Or, oh, hey, I've checked out your profile. It looks like you do XYZ. I would love to know more. And it doesn't have to feel salesy or spammy, right? When you go into a DM situation, when you start engaging with people in that way, it feels like a conversation and it feels very easy then and simple to start moving into some of those more sales driven conversations, right? Because you start talking to this person and they start opening up to you and you start to say, hey, it sounds like you're having XYZ trouble. Is that true? Right? And then they can answer back and say, yes, I'm having blah, 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 or no, I'm not. It's actually this. And that gives you the opportunity to say, oh, wow, I've got I've got some feedback for you. Would you be open to hearing it? Would you be open to some feedback on that thing that you're having trouble with? And if they are, you could offer feedback right there in the DMs. And this, again, if you have opted into the viral conversations that convert, this is part of the $1,000 DM that I talk about. Everyone who DMs me, I go into that DM thinking, how can I show up with $1,000 of value? Why? Because again, I value my time, but I also value their time. And I know that my knowledge, even if I'm only 1 or 2 steps ahead of that person, I know my knowledge is fire. I know I'm so excited to be able to help and serve and give back to that person. It also gives that person an easy way to say yes to hopping on a call, right? So you give them the value. And then you say, I have some more ideas, but would you want to get on a call? Does it make sense for us to have a Zoom call, just a quick 15-minute chat? I'd love to hear where you're at. It would just give us a little bit of time to get to know each other and I can give you a little bit more feedback. And then on that call is where you really get to say, okay, here are a few more things, a few more tidbits. If you're interested in going further, I can explain how I work with clients if you're interested. If you're not, that's fine. We're done right after the 15 minutes. So I want you to keep that in mind. The sales process does not need to be crazy. It does not have to be a crazy deep funnel. I mean, it certainly can be, but it doesn't have to be, right? And I think that's where a lot of coaches, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of online people get deep into the funnels. And don't get me wrong, I've been down that alley, right? I've been down that road. And yes, I have funnels for my stuff, but I also don't have like crazy intricate funnels because quite honestly, it doesn't serve me right now in business. And I'm okay with that. Do I want it someday? Yes. Am I preparing for it? Yes. But I don't feel like I need to spend my time there. Right now, for me and for my clients, what I am focused on is connecting with people, having conversations. And you might ask why, right? And I would tell you, having a conversation can be so much more fruitful and beneficial for your business than building a crazy, intricate funnel. Why? Because you're forward facing. You're telling people, "Hey, I do this thing. Do you or anyone you know need help with this thing?" And the more specific you can get, the better. That is why I have shifted a lot of what I talk about to having conversations. And I talk so much about having conversations because that is one of the cruxes of business. If you get really good at having conversations, those sales conversations will come more natural. You'll start to see people saying, "Oh, wow, hey, I saw your post about blah, blah, blah. I'm interested in that thing." So I want you to really get comfortable having a conversation. It's going to make lead generation easier. It's going to make sales easier. It's going to make service easier, right? And at the end of the day, business is conversations, sales, and service. How can you have a conversation and that can be a conversation in the DMs. That could be a conversation, quote unquote, in your content. That could be an email to your newsletter, right? Or to your people who subscribe to you. That could be a video, it could be a podcast. It could be going down the street, standing in line in the bakery and having a conversation with the person standing behind you. "Hey, hi, I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm a business coach. What do you do?" Right? And starting to understand all of the opportunities that are available to you. And also, the more you practice conversations, the easier it's going to get for you to really just level up all of the things. Okay. It's going to feel easier because when you're making connections, things just flow, right? And again, you don't have to have these crazy funnels. You can, but you don't have to. And I don't want you to get stuck there. So, if you are feeling like you need help having better conversations in order to sign more clients, in order to serve more clients, this is when this is a good time for you to have a chat with me. Okay. Right now, my January books are open. And I'm opening them up for one-on-one support right now in the month of January. So I've decided for 2024, one of my, I guess, performance indicators, KPIs, or I guess one of my goals. I don't know, one of my actions. I really don't know what to call it, but something that I challenged myself to do was to open my books once a month for one-on-one clients, right? And I have up to 3 spots in my one-on-one client base. Now, I've also decided that I want my one-on-one containers to be 6 or 12 months long. And I want that because I understand the level of accountability that it takes in order to make this stuff work. Okay, so I've been in so many different containers, and most of them are 3 months long. And in those containers, I've felt like, oh, I finally get going. We finally get up to speed. And by that time, it's like week 10, right? So then it's like, oh, well, there's only 2 weeks left. And then it falls off. So I've extended my one-on-one openings to 6 or 12 months because I want to be able to have that support. I also found that with my clients, they were signing up for multiple 3 months because they needed more support. So why not just make it a longer support time? So I'm going to drop some links below. Make sure to go ahead and if you're interested in one-on-one coaching with me, again, each month for 2024, I'm opening up 1 to 3 spaces, depending on how many people have signed up for 6 or 12 month increments, right? So for January, I have 3 spots open because it's the beginning of the year. So if you're interested, sign up for a clarity call below, and we're going to go over where you're at, where you want to be, and then how I can help you and what I think will serve you best, right? 6 or 12 months. And honestly, I'm happy if I think 6 months will be good for you, but you want to go for the big kahuna and say 12 months, that is also amazing. Number one, because then you get to be held accountable for that period of time. And that is something that I really level up in my coaching spaces is accountability, cheerleading, making sure I'm there as a mentor, but also as a coach, right? Like, yes, I'm there to teach you things, but I'm also there to listen to what you're saying, how you're saying it, and help you reframe those thoughts so that all of the limiting beliefs, all of those garbage thoughts as they come up, you have tools to be able to say, no, we're not thinking that thought today. Here is the other thought we're going to bring to the front of our mind. And really just to be a support system for you. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you sign up below either for a clarity call or for the viral conversations that convert. Those two things are going to be chef's kiss, the best way to get started with me. I'm also opening up some fun group options later in the year, and I have a membership idea brewing in my head, so I can't wait to show up and serve you. And like always, I would love to hear from you what resonated in this episode, right? You can catch me on Instagram at Maggie Lynn with 2 N's coaching and drop me a DM. Tell me what came up for you, right? Was anything kind of like, oh, I don't like what she's saying? I want to hear that. Why? Not because I want to fight, although that is one reason why I like hockey because they fight. But because I want to have a conversation. I want to hear what you're thinking about these things. And I want to understand, can I open up my vision to something bigger? Maybe can I help you open up your vision to something bigger? That's what this is all about. So again, like, share, rate, follow, all the things. I can't wait to talk to you again, and I will be back in your ears soon.